So, as I said before, I work with the Bounceback Program across the ranges in the northern part of the state. And I'd just like to acknowledge, as well as Rob, my co-authors here, Dylan and Darren, who are the rangers based at Oriparina in Flinders Ranges National Park. So the Bounceback Program's been going for a few decades, and its early focus, as I mentioned before, was the recovery of yellow-footed rock wallabies, and foxes and goats were identified as being major threats to their recovery, which actually Pete Copley, who's here, was one of the people who raised alarms about this in the early 80s. Bounceback has since expanded to include off-park properties as well as the parks that are there in blue. And we've recently moved into the area of fauna reintroductions, reintroducing the western quoll and common bush-tailed possum to Flinders Ranges National Park in the last couple of years. But I'm just going to sort of drill into the sort of fox baiting side of it here for a minute. So we cover a fairly large area now with aerial fox baiting across the Gorders, Flinders and O'Leary ranges. And just in the Flinders Gammons, it covers an area of about 3,500 square kilometres. We aerial bait twice a year in February and August, and there's supplementary ground baiting that obviously covers smaller areas, but on most of these properties in May and November, using semi-dried meat baits impregnated with 1080. So we've been, over the sort of years of the Bounceback Program, there's been spotlight surveys conducted quarterly in the northern, mostly in some other areas, but mainly in the northern part there of Flinders Ranges National Park. I'll show some of this info in a minute, but they have proved to be a good indicator of population trends for foxes and cats and also herbivores. But they are only sampling one portion of the bounceback footprint. They're labour intensive, requiring quite a lot of staff and volunteer time. And there's also variations in the data set. So the predator surveys, which were conducted with the assistance of Conservation and Wildlife Management from the sporting shooters, their focus was actually hunting foxes and cats, so they weren't on the same route each time. And even the herbivore surveys that the rangers conducted and still conduct quarterly,